It's just unfortunate that when they paint a picture of what's going on in South Africa, they don't tell the truth. There's no South African who can march the streets and start running around looking for people. That's not how it works. When we march, we have a route, the police are aware, they come in numbers. Like if you were to come to our marches, there's dozens of police, you know, and they know, they're aware of where we're going. When we get there, we hand over a memorandum, they sign the memorandum, and they have to respond to the memorandum. Plenty of times the government doesn't respond to the memorandum, and that's why we continue to march.
But the rhetorics that come out, it's not government you must do, it's migrants must go, whether documented or undocumented. How then do you marry the two? Because that's clearly what everybody hears on social media. That's what we see at the marches.
Yeah, I think that's where people need to understand what is happening in South Africa. There's two things that are happening. There's marches and there's operations, right? Marches are just strictly marches. There's nothing else. Nothing happens with the march, and if something happens at a march, the police will always arrest someone because they're there.
But they haven't been arresting. I mean, there's been violence that have happened. There's been several violence that have happened. There's been at least, I think it's 8 people who have been killed as a result of these rhetorics from the marches, some on social media, granted. I'm not saying definitely from you, but as a result of supporters of March and March.
No,
so
let me explain something to you so that you can understand. March and March is not the only organization that's fighting illegal immigration in the country. And March and March is not the only people that have an issue with illegal immigration in the country. You know, when we started March and March, we went to the government. We told them that there's a crisis that's going to happen in this country. I'm talking what we said as March and March. South Africans
last year.
Yes, South Africans are fed up, and you are ignoring this concern. We're formalizing the structure so that we can deal with the government. That's why March and March exists. But let me give you an example of Mossel Bay, for example. Mossel Bay, we've never been to Mossel Bay. There's not a single member of March and March. But communities there, they decided to fight with each other, with foreigners, over issues that they've already had boiling under, tensions that have already existed. Let me tell you why that happens. You see, down here in Durban, there's a place called Point Road, and you can ask anyone about it. Those have become no-go areas for South Africans. We don't go to those places.
What happens in Point Road?
It's been taken over.
By whom?
By Nigerians and other foreigners who have made South Africans not to be able to come into those areas.
Why not?
Because they've taken over. They've taken over buildings, they've taken over shops, they've taken over the entire neighborhood.
What, they bought it? When you say take over, did they buy it or are they renting it?
No, some of the buildings are hijacked. It's like in Hillbrow in Johannesburg. It's like in Sunnyside in Pretoria. It's like there's so many. All of these places have been mushing up all throughout the country.
And who owns those buildings originally?
Most of them have been hijacked.
No, but who owns them? Who do they belong to originally?
So what happens is, some of those buildings are municipalities, and of course they can only do this with the help
they're
of
government
South
buildings,
yes.
Local government buildings.
So this can only be done with the help of a South African at a municipal office, right? Who has details of what buildings are there, which buildings are vacant, etc. They sell this information, right? People come into the building, it's empty, they start taking over the building. Can be a house, they do the same thing. You come into a house, the owner is living overseas, or I've got plenty of cases of people with that problem.
The owners are living overseas, and why are they not doing anything about somebody's
They don't know.
squatter?
So remember, South African law doesn't allow you to just evict someone. This is how they use the law to their favor. So once I come into your house, right, the law protects me if I don't have anywhere else to go.
So there's no legal redress. There's no way to go to court.
You can go
even
to
if it's
court.
going to take a while.
You can go to court, but I have to provide you sometimes with a place to stay before I can evict you from the house.
Right, so you have to replace a squatter. So what you're saying is they're squatting in these properties, and even if the owner comes back, some of the owners you said are abroad.
Yeah.
So even when the owner comes back and says, I want my property back, If they go to court, if they win, they then have to provide an alternative. Is that the law?
Yes.
Otherwise, they can't be evicted unless there's an alternative.
So I'm just trying to paint a picture for you how difficult it is for South Africans to go through these processes. So it's only now.
So what are they doing with those buildings? Because
so in the building, I'll share with you some videos so you can see of what they've done to some buildings. So it's people who are like an organized syndicate. It's not just ordinary you who comes from Nigeria who comes and says, hey, I'm going to take over a building. You wouldn't know that. So it's people who've got this information who are making millions out of it. Once they get into the building, they start rigging electricity. So they find ways of getting electricity into the building without paying. They do the same with municipal water. And then inside the building, there's about, in a 2-room house, they live 4 people at a time, and all these people are paying rent to one person. Sometimes they'll build other buildings inside a building so that there's more space for people to rent. And that's how they maximize profits. So one of the celebrities who passed away this year was DJ Waris.
yes.
And his job was to reclaim hijacked buildings. And he had been dealing with them. And
who gave him the job?
so he's a security company.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So as a security company, you've got a right to protect people who ask for that protection.
Right.
So he was basically reclaiming some of these buildings for the owners. And that's why they killed him.